Hey guys!
We're here to do the second video on this Monday doubleheader. This is a Patrono request from this Patrono right here. And I want to say thank you to this Patrono for putting up with us because he's been asking us to check out this band for a very, very long time. I believe like the last 2-3 months, he's been posting the same band, the same links to the same videos for us to check something out. It's finally happening. We're finally here. But before I press play, by the way, the name of the band, I believe, is pronounced Ulfven. And the name of the song is Korpen. But before we press play, I can see the thumbnail. And the thumbnail has this girl's face. And it looks like she's, like, cross-eyed or something.
No, she looks like she's a mixture of, like, the girl from The Ring and, like, a Jeff Hardy face paint.
I can go with that. Or The Undertaker when he rolls his eyes back.
Actually, the eye that's, like, just the dot in black is, like, a Malachi Black.
Oh, yeah, Malachi Black. Very good. But anyways, I went to school with a girl that was cross-eyed. I was very ignorant when it came to people's disabilities at that time. I didn't know she was cross-eyed. So she was sitting right beside me like you are, but she was looking behind me. And I kept moving backwards with my chair. At one point she said, like, stop fucking moving. Stop making fun of me. I'm looking at you. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're fucking looking at the guy behind me. And then she explained to me that she was cross-eyed, and then I apologized. Because I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
Seriously, I was a young kid in Portugal. We don't come across very many cross-eyed people. At least back then we didn't. And it's not like we had internet or Discovery Channel. I didn't know. I didn't know this was a thing.
People with cross-eyed wouldn't be on the Discovery Channel. It's not like they're an endangered species.
I know, but I didn't know anything. Like every time I saw a dude like with a patch in their eye, because back then if you were cross-eyed, you would wear. I think still now, right? They put a patch on the good eye to force the other eye to go straight. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
But every time I saw that, I thought they just poked their eye out or something. Or they were born without an eye socket. I don't know. I was a fucking kid. I didn't know any better. Anyways, looking at this picture kind of reminded me of her.
Yeah, and the thumbnail says underneath the name of the band. I guess that's the name of the album,
I'm assuming that's the album, yeah.
Bland Oska Ouchstein.
It's not Ouch. It's Blend Aska Ockstein.
Ockstein, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's Ock is the right way. Anyways, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. The bass is killer.
Urskogens land. Strövar en kvinnas sorg. Berövad av frostvind. I höstens morgon. Längs älvens kant. Vid isdimmans fagra lyster. En jordafärd hon skall ge till vattnets mörker. Hon faller ner av en sorg så tung. Med sin kärlek i famn. Så vager förlorade barnaskratt. Med missmod och ler mot mörkret som träder i manlig skepnad. I glödens kyla hon ska vandra till avgrundens djup. Hon faller ner av en sorg så tung. Med sin kärlek i famn. Som fager men kall. Förlorad i nattens timma. Aldrig mer. Om glädjen komma vinna.
Okay, I'm going to let you go first because I really feel like this is something that falls in your wheelhouse.
It does. Does it fall in your wheelhouse?
It does, but I know
Okay.
like you're a huge fan of this kind of sound, this kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go first. You
God
let me go
damn.
first on the previous one.
Yeah. You're right. This is my wheelhouse, man. This is my playground.
Sorry to interrupt you, but the Patrono kept saying that like based on some of the comments that we had on certain bands that we did. I think 1914. He mentioned 1914, and it was like, guys, you gotta check out this band. I think you guys gonna love it based on how we felt towards some other bands we've done on the channel. So
Yeah, Black and it's just my stuff, man. This is like, I'm not always in the mood to listen to this type, but it's
I would hate to disagree with you because lately you've been listening to Exercises in Futility
No, but I'm not saying
like
I'm not always
on
in the,
fucking repeat.
But I'm not always in that mood. But it's most of my mood. Like that's most of my days listening to this type of metal. My days I'm very diverse, man.
Okay.
I'm a very diverse metal listener. I won't go a whole day.
You're a
listening
very
to
eclectic listener.
Yeah, I won't go the whole day listening to one genre. That's not my style.
But at least you listen to that one song once. Or a song like this once.
I have to listen to at least 1914 or a song like the same genre and the same feeling that 1914 give me. I need to listen to that at least once a day. So,
and then you can...
And then I can, I
Bugger
can
off.
listen to my Lorna Shores and I can listen to everything else.
Okay.
That's my starting point, is I need to listen to something like that. And this is definitely going to be one of those songs. This is definitely going to be one of my starting points.
Some of us start our day with a good jerk off in the shower. You start with 1914. All right.
I gotta start with something that gives me some dark, menacing vibes, but still being like a jolt of heaviness.
All right. So now let's get into this.
I think in this song, obviously it's gonna remind me of Exercise in Futility, 1914. It's obviously gonna remind me of that. But God, the guitar in this just so menacing, and having
I really like the drumming too.
the guitar sound itself. Some of it did remind me of like Mayhem type of sharp sounds.
Yeah.
From the guitar.
The driven the penetrating
Very
sound.
black metal
Yeah.
like. But Mayhem was the first band that came to mind when I heard those more driven, sharper sounds from the guitar. The vocals were for some.
The vocals were
demonic,
phenomenal. The vocals were phenomenal.
Phenomenal
The vocals were phenomenal.
and they went well with the whole vibe of the song. But the song itself, I feel like the guitars themselves are not very, very fast, but it's the mood of the song, and the drums are kind of keeping you.
I agree with you.
On your toes there.
I think there's certain parts of the track that feels like it picks up a little bit of intensity,
But I feel like
it doesn't pick up necessarily speed. It feels like it's moving faster because it sounds a little bit more direct, a little bit more intense.
But the guitars are kind of staying the way they are. It's just that the way they're being played, they're being played slower, but the way they're being played, they're able to keep up.
Yeah, and the drums are pushing a little bit more forward.
The drums
in
are
certain
the
parts.
pushing.
The drums are pushing a little bit more
factor,
forward.
yeah.
Yeah. And I really like the drum sound. And there was something that I said right at the beginning when the song started. It was the cool bass. Like, I love how much of
Yeah.
the... How many times you listen to a band like this and you can barely tell where the fucking bass is?
The
But not
bass
on this
is-
track. It really popped.
In this genre, in my opinion, the bass, it needs love. Because
I agree.
the bass, you want your song to be big, but also very atmospheric, but also very towning and drowning in darkness.
And you need something
the
that creates a little bit of a shape to the
yeah,
song.
and the bass does that. You can use the bass to, make the shape or add to the drums in the way of making a nice little...
Because
clatter.
in tracks like this, if the bass doesn't pop a little bit in order to create that shape, and what I mean by creating a shape is allowing the song to feel as one, like it's inside a basket. Because normally these songs tend to be very driven and penetrating, and sometimes they're so driven and penetrating that they don't have borders.
They're very thin.
They become a little bit thin, right? And then it's like you don't necessarily know. They become so thin that on the edges of the song, they start to kind of like disappear. And it's hard to kind of determine the boundaries that the song have. So I always find that the bass, on tracks like this, when the bass pops in, the bass grounds the track. It gives this sense of, okay, these are the enclosure around the song. So I know that the sound is going to stay controlled within this environment. It could be brutal, it could be dynamic, it could move, but it's not going to move to the point where it starts to like fade into oblivion. And I like that. I like that more grounding factor. You
Not
know?
just that, though. It's also, if it's able to come...
And it's a
into
great tone too.
That's what I was about to say. If it's able to come into the forefront, that thickness, it's able to do what the whole atmosphere of the song is trying to do, bring the song down, and then at points where you want to bring it up, you pull it back into the background. That's what you just need to do, because I feel like the bass has a very nice, thick sound that it's able to add to that, like, not drowsiness, but that...
Gloom.
That glooming factor, yeah.
I agree 100%. And it works also as a perfect bridge between what the drums and guitars are doing. Because very often the two almost become one in that push, in the way it pushes the song forward. So separating them slightly in certain parts of the track and then putting the bass squeezed in between to kind of like bridge the two worlds makes the song feel a little bit more fuller. It gives depth. It makes the song feel bigger, if you know what I mean. And it doesn't take anything away from the intensity or the drive that the song. It just makes the song have more depth. It doesn't feel flat. And that to me is something that's really important, because it doesn't also allow the song to become a little bit repetitive. These songs tend to repeat themselves, and this one is no different. They tend to repeat themselves quite often, right? So when you add the bass in there, I think, to me, at least from my personal opinion and perception when I listen to it, when you add the bass in there, it kind of breaks that sense of repetitiveness. It gives the song a little bit more life.
But it's not just that. I think that songs like this, and Exercise in Futility, we were talking about this the other day, where
yesterday
in that song, there's that guitar section with the drums, and I think it happens twice or three times where it's just that for a good minute, and it's just that for a good minute, and it slowly drags by. Some may think that's so repetitive because it's the same thing happening over and over, and you get it twice in the song, right? One near the end, one near the beginning of the song. But in my opinion, that is one of the strongest parts of the song, because yeah, it's repetitive, but it's so good that you kind of want it to be repetitive. You want to hear it multiple times, because then when it's finished, you're like, that was amazing. And then it hits you again, and you're like, I've never been more ready in my life for another hit of it. So just
this
like
song
in
had
this,
a lot of moments like
just
that.
like in this, yeah. It has those repetitive moments, but at the end you're like, that was good and all, but I kind of want it again.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Even though they've given it to you so many times.
So many times, yeah.
Something that good, you wanted it again, even though you've had it for so long.
I agree with you. It doesn't get stale.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best way to put it. I really enjoy this track, and the Patrono really sold it based on some of the videos that we've done and how we felt about it. He said, like, you guys got to check these guys out. He wasn't wrong. So, kudos to the Patrono.
Our Patronos, they know what they
they know what we like, so they always steer us in the right direction. And thanks to them, we discover new bands, and thanks to them and us, you guys at home probably discovered a new band as well. So
yeah,
it's a win-win situation for everybody. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care.
See ya.